In the school system,
Yes.
we have people who know head knowledge,
Yes.
but many of them don't have any experience.
Okay.
And there's a level of charisma, character, and confidence that experiential knowledge gives you,
Okay.
which usually is not with our professors and our teachers.
Okay.
Because they learned the thing head-wise,
Right.
but they hardly practice the things.
Okay.
So the confidence, the character, the charisma, they hardly have it.
Okay.
That's where how
Education and schooling are not the same thing. What goes on in the schools is often not education. Where I chanced upon that quote had also defined education as having come from a root language that seemed to suggest that the term education means to draw out of. Okay, that means that there's a certain potential in us that education is supposed to draw out and make available for the development of humanity. And if you look at Africa, for instance, in spite of the fact that so many people have gone through what we call education or the formal school system with long chains of letters after their names, we are not able to solve our basic problems. And the indicators are there for all to see.
And of course, that's what we should expect, because the schooling system was never originated or created with the concept of outcomes in mind.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's begin to look at what could be done to help the situation. So take it that I'm a young student at the tertiary level. Okay. Whatever I'm being taught in class, I'm studying it diligently. But I don't know that there are other things that are relevant that I'm not being taught because the focus is on outcomes. But the outcome is not being dealt with properly the way I could be able to face life. Okay, so let's look at that. What would you recommend that a very studious person who is concentrating on his books and all other things that I'm supposed to do in the school, what can I do to help myself in order not to be found wanting when I graduate from school?
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap, with swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo, the contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to seersapp.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
I once chanced upon a quote that says, education and schooling are not the same thing. What goes on in the schools is often not education, and the results may well be that it reduces productive capacity rather than increase it. It got me worried. This quote is attributed to Professor Sir William Arthur Lewis, the first black man to win a Nobel Prize in an area other than peace. Interestingly, he was one time the economic advisor to Ghana's first president, Asajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Again, he says, education and schooling are not the same thing. What goes on in the schools is often not education, and the results may well be that it reduces productive capacity rather than increase it. What is basically saying that by going to school, chances are that your wings are going to be clipped, and that is the worry. Today, we want to look at the subject of education in the context of this quote. I have my brother, Gershon McNeil Ameku. Gershon, welcome to the discussion.
Thank you.
And Shadrach Akrofi-Kwaku. Shadrach, you are welcome to today's discussion. My name is Ejir. First of all, when we say education, what are we talking about? Shadrach, do you mind starting with us?
And thank you very much for the question. Greetings to the honorable viewers. What is education? In simple terms, education is a process of getting people to know or to be informed about a topic or a subject which previously they had no idea about or they were not firmly established in. That for me is education.
Great. Gerson, your take.
I would define education as an awareness of one's environment, consequences that comes with it. For one to be knowledgeable about what he or she is seeing, is hearing, is what we think about education. You can be educated through book, you can be educated through speech, you can be educated through observation.
Okay.
So when you say education, you have the former and the informal.
Right.
And all these things are embedded in these things already.
Great. We've all been through the system, okay, from primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay. Would you say the system you went through did that for you?
That says in truthful.
Okay.
Because we have not up to the level of perfection.
Right.
Yes. So our education is really evolving. So what I'm being taught at my time is not what it is being taught today. And I believe there is always room for improvement.
Okay.
So basically, I would say that I've not gotten to the level to say that everything is perfect. No, I believe there's room for improvement.
Okay, so we'll come to that room for improvement. Sada, would you say the system you went through did that for you?
Yeah, I would say partly. Partly because no matter how poor the system is, it managed to contribute to an extent to getting through it and so on and so forth. Like the question was rightly saying, there could be an improvement, but I would say to a large extent the system contributed to the kind of education that I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I started, I cited the quote I chanced
Exactly.
upon. Said that education and schooling are not the same thing. That what goes on in the schools is often not education. The result may well be that it reduces productive capacity rather than to increase it. Some way, somehow, the former system seemed to be focusing on helping people acquire technical skills in specific disciplines. Okay, it's having gone through the system, and I said I spent 6+ years at the university. Okay, now when I came out, I thought school had judged me to be a very good student, so I was on top of the world. But then I realized that there are a lot of things in life that I was falling short of, even though I was knowledgeable in the technical discipline I had gone to learn. Where I chanced upon that quote had also defined education as having come from a root language that seemed to suggest that the term education means to draw out of. Okay, that means that there's a certain potential in us that education is supposed to draw out and make available for the development of humanity. And if you look at Africa, for instance, in spite of the fact that so many people have gone through what we call education or the formal school system with long chains of letters after their names, we are not able to solve our basic problems. And the indicators are there for all to see. GDP, our debt levels, our environment, pothole reading, roads, and so on. That means as an educated community, we are not able to solve our problems. Let me put it that way. In that sense, I see that there's a shortfall somewhere. So when I asked, did the school system you went to do that for you? I mean, did the school system actually draw out the potential in you as the definition seems to suggest.
Okay. What I would say with respect to the quote and then the question of the school system is, I believe, like you rightly said, our system is structured in a way that it makes people become more focused in the outputs.
Okay.
Which is your grades, your certificate, examination scores. Those are outputs. But there are outcomes in education. So our education system is good when it comes to counting outputs. Recently I heard that there are about 5,000 to 10,000 graduates from BC level yearly. The numbers are telling. But the problem is with the outcomes. Outcome deals with the impact. So for outputs, our schooling system is good. But when it talks about outcomes, impact, what the knowledge acquired can translate a person to do, then our schooling systems are not helping. And of course, that's what we should expect, because the schooling system was never originated or created with the concept of outcomes in mind.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Then let's begin to look at what could be done to help the situation. So take it that I'm a young student at the tertiary level. Okay. Of course, I'm a good student. Whatever I'm being taught in class, I'm studying it diligently. But I don't know that there are other things that are relevant that are not being taught, because the focus is on outcomes. But the outcome is not being dealt with properly the way I could be able to face life. Okay, so let's look at that. What would you recommend that a very studious person who is concentrating on his books and all other things that I'm supposed to do in the school, what can I do to help myself in order not to be found wanting when I graduate from school?
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap, with swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo, the contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to seersap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
So we'll be having a conversation about education. My name is Deji, and I'm here with Gershom Mark Neil Ameku and Shadrach Akrofi Kwaku. We're talking about what a typical good student should do whilst in school.
Okay, so if I should add to what you said regarding the quotes and then also my brother's comment.
That school is interested in the output and not the outcome. Okay.
Yes. And this thing has to do with our fundamentals, right from home, because charity begins at home.
Okay.
Over the years, we have trained ourselves in a manner that has not constituted, let me say, nationalism or people who love their country.
Okay.
Okay. Our education is not centered on the goals and visions of the country. So everyone does what he likes. Many people are having nursing schools, many people are doing business schools just for the numbers, so they can have something for their own pockets, but not the solutions with the national issues. Okay. That is why everything is going according to what everyone wants.
Right.
If you look at the outside world, North Korea, you will see that every child is being trained to love their country. There's a particular message that they are giving to at the age of 5 years and above. In our country, or as a child, how did your country get independence? Many will not know.
Okay.
Because that vision has not been embedded from infancy. Therefore, if I grow up to become a matured person who is interested in making money, I can say, let me go and establish a school and just do what others are doing, just for the numbers. Okay. When it continues this way, all over the country, there will not be a focus or a direction for us all to go. Everybody seems not to care because there's nothing pointing us to the way.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, there are several ways of attempting to solve this problem.
Yes.
I know parents have a role to play, governments have a role to play, teachers have a role to play, and so on. Even pastors have a role to play. But it will take a lot of effort to reach all these and get them to do what is expected of them. But my pastor cannot love me more than I do for myself. Even my parents cannot love me more than I do for myself. My teachers cannot love me more than I do for myself. If I get to know what to do, then because I care for myself so much, I'll take steps to then add on to whatever they are doing or not doing, just for myself. Okay. So at this point, what can I, the student, and I'm saying that I'm a good student, whatever I'm being taught, I'm learning diligently. Whatever schools expect me to do, I'm doing it. And we've established that if we do all that diligently, it will still not give us the outcome that we want. It means that something extra needs to be done. What should I do outside of all this in order to help myself to be a very good product when I graduate, so that the outcome will be what is expected or what is suitable for dealing with my own needs, as much as being a very good contributor to the development of the country and then the continent?
What I will say is this: we have to develop this self-instinct of developing values in ourselves.
Okay.
Because if my output is not encouraging as a student who has graduated and then maybe in the workforce, I don't see stealing to be anything, corruption, I don't see it to be anything. Okay, so in a society where we see corruption to be a normal thing, as an individual, to change this narrative, we have to inculcate certain kind of attitude and belief and values within ourselves, that this is right, this is not right. Okay, then we can begin to become productive, showing different kind of character traits that others can also emulate. But in the case where we don't develop this value within ourselves, we just go out there and enjoy the mouses and doing what does not bring about productivity.
Okay.
So value in itself is something that we need to nurture as individuals. That we nurture this attitude in ourselves, then we can become positive examples in the society we find ourselves.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Yes, Shadrach.
Socrates said, the beginning of wisdom is definition. We can't exist or we cannot transform beyond our definitions. So the first question I will have to ask is, who is a student? That is the first point that we have to start from, to know how we can contribute more in terms of outcome.
Right.
Because if we've defined a student as one who produces outputs, then there is no amount of discussion or instruction that will get a student to concentrate on outcome. Because we've defined a student as one who, for example, gets outputs. So we need to, for example, define a student as one who has outcomes. It's like education was measured by intrinsic value. But right now, the reason why the students are focusing on outputs is that's what we've defined as a student. One who has passed exams, one who has grades, one who has many certificates. That is who we call a student. Okay. Wears a uniform, has a badge, wears a bag. That's who we've qualified as a student.
Okay.
So we need to change that definition of a student.
Who is supposed to do that?
Good. That is why our conversations are with consequences. Because this is where the conversation starts. Okay. Conversations will change that mindset.
Okay.
A student is one who has, for example, outcomes like by the time you finish your tertiary education, first level, you should have a book. Then the second practical thing we should do after changing the definition of a student. If I'm to go back on the definition of a student is somebody who is committed eternally to something.
Right. And we committed eternally to the syllabus that have been given.
Because that is how we've defined studentship. So for a student, anything that you give him, he'll be committed to.
Right.
So we have made them students of outputs.
Okay.
rather than causing them to be students of outcomes.
Yes. So now, what are some of the outcomes?
So,
You mentioned
yes,
some of
and then
them.
the one last thing. When I was in school, one thing that changed my life, how I started traveling to a few countries, how I started attending programs, how I started writing books, how I started speaking. One thing that changed my life was seminars. So before I finished school, I started running monthly seminars on campus. Because there are things you will never learn in the classroom. You will learn it at a seminar.
Good.
A seminar opens your portal to be able to stretch your capacity to reason. That's why I bring my children along on many things. Yeah, I want them to have experiences outside of the classroom,
Okay.
so that they learn outside of that classroom.
Great.
In a more formalized way.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Maybe just to add to some of the outcomes, I chanced upon statistics to the effect that of all the people that go to work every day, only 18% feel good about going to work. The remaining 82% wish they didn't have to go to work. Either they detest the work they do, or they detest the work environment, or they detest their bosses. A majority of these 80 actually hate the work they do. Also, 97% of people underestimate their capabilities and use so little of their true or hidden potential. That means if you randomly assemble 100 people, 97 of them will be underestimating their capabilities and be using so little of their true or hidden potential. For instance, it is estimated that the average person throughout his or her lifetime accomplishes with the brain 100th of 1% of what the brain is actually capable of helping the person accomplish. That's serious. A whopping 97% of people underestimate their capabilities and use so little of their true or hidden potential. And all these happen because of some of the issues that we've been talking about. And so I agree very much with the idea of seminars. It's only at seminars that you are going to hear the other things that you need for real world
life performance.
So that's awesome.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap, with swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo, the contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to seersap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
Talking about what a typical good student should do whilst in school. Is there any other thing?
You know, in the school system,
Yes.
we have people who know head knowledge,
Yes.
but many of them don't have any experience.
Okay.
And there's a level of charisma, character, and confidence that experiential knowledge gives you,
Okay.
which usually is not with our professors and our teachers,
Okay.
because they learned the thing head-wise,
Right.
but they've hardly practiced the things.
Okay.
So the confidence, the character, the charisma, they don't hardly have it.
Okay.
That's how the school system is created. That's the platform they have, and that's they have to achieve at the top of their output.
Robert Kiyosaki calls them fake teachers.
Exactly. At seminar platforms, people who are brought there are not head knowledge based people.
Okay.
They are experiential people.
Great.
So they are able to impart the same thing that they are having to the students who patronize their sessions. So I, for example, my life practically changed. I became an author because of seminars. I became a speaker because of seminars. I also started traveling because of seminars.
So what you are saying is that every good student must make it a habit of attending seminars.
Yeah. It's a content. In 3 months, if you not attended a seminar, you are not well. You are literally sick. Yes, in every quarter you need one seminar, minimum one seminar. It's a long time for 90 days. For some of us, it's a long time. But you start with every 3 months one seminar.
Great.
So talking about the seminars, I think there are avenues for us to be educated outside the classroom. You get content that are not being taught in the classroom.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a good avenue. You get to network as well.
Okay.
Because after school, it's about network.
Great.
This network can give you outside education.
Right.
Okay, which you will not necessarily get in the classroom.
Okay.
So I think adding to what you said is a great avenue.
Great.
Then also, individually, what kind of content is being shared on those platforms is also has to do with the individual, whether it's to go or not. It's not just about seminars.
Okay,
The
so it's
kind
not
of
like
seminars.
because it's a seminar you go.
No.
Okay.
There must be a focus for individuals. Is it business seminar? Is it about relationship seminar? What kind of seminar is there? We as individuals or students, we need to learn about all those things.
Okay.
Your focus will determine what you look up to. Okay.
I feel that you can never tell what you are going to get at a seminar until you've been there. So for me, it's better to go and say that, oh, this is not knowledge that I need after all, than not to go at all. So I would say that as long as it's a seminar outside of what you are being taught in classroom, go. Okay, so even if you don't learn anything new, you are going to network.
Yeah.
You rightly said
Yeah.
networking. So they should go.
Yeah.
Seminar.
I completely agree. And
Any other?
Yeah, just a little bit to add to the segment. We must be careful not to take the school attitude into seminars.
Okay, which
That's
is
one thing I fought when I started seminars. You know, the school attitude marks outputs, like I said already.
okay,
In a seminar, you're not probably going to be giving exam questions to write.
right.
You're not going to probably put before any timetable and then they'll say your time is up. No.
Okay,
In a seminar, you are being checked on outcomes. What
Right.
can you produce? So, for example, what we'll call cheating in a classroom, they'll put you in a group and they say work together.
great.
In a classroom setting, this is cheating. In a seminar, this is great.
But in life,
Yeah,
that is what
Great.
happens.
So that's why seminars are very good to complement the regular education.
Okay.
Because in seminars, they are getting you closer to real life.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Those who teach their experiential, they've learned in the classroom that you need to work independently. And if you are collaborating, it's cheating. And when they went to real life, they realized, no, we need to teamwork.
Yeah.
So they come back on seminars to tell you, no, it's not cheating. It's actually collaboration.
Okay.
There you find how to tussle with each other. You share views. You learn how to respect other people's opinions. And then you work together to achieve a common result.
Great.
So then they change the mind of the students to recognize teamwork rather than cheating.
Okay. So you are saying that the student.
Should not go to the seminar with the school attitude.
Okay. Okay.
And another key thing about seminars is you are not being marked on attendance. You are being marked on action.
Right.
Seminar is action based.
Okay.
So it's not just you are attending 100 seminars. No. It's better to go one seminar and act on what they are teaching you than to go for 100 seminars and do nothing.
Okay.
Uh,
As a good student, I'm attending seminars. Is there any other thing you would want me to do as well?
There are so many things that develop us as individuals. So it's not just about going to the classroom to learn. So extracurricular activities are also there.
Okay.
All this helps to improve your health status as an
Yeah.
individual. You can develop your talent from there.
Okay.
Okay. So what your book knowledge cannot give you outside school, your extracurricular activity can give you.
Okay.
So we should take advantage of all those skills.
All right. Another area we could probably recommend is reading of self-help books. I think so far it's not come out.
Yes.
But self-help books, in addition to the seminar. Of course, when you attend the seminars, you'll be introduced to very good self-help books as well. It's been exciting. So, what are your parting words?
Okay, so I would say that as an individual, we should have a focus on what we want in life. Be it a student, be it a worker. Okay, we should have a focus. We should have inbuilt attitudes that guide us in everyday life. Okay, so that we can become productive people in our society. Thank you.
Thank you, Gershon, and then Shadrach.
yeah. I've mentioned clearly that if in 3 months, 90 days, you don't attend seminars, you're not well, you have a problem. And then if in 30 days you've not volunteered. And that's another advantage that you have as a young person. You need to volunteer. I got a job with the UN out of volunteering.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So by the time I came out of my traditional school, the first degree, and the time I got into the UN, they were like, how come you and your colleagues have almost been around the same, but you have so many things, you've done several things with several groups. Because I volunteered, I would rather volunteer than sit home or do nothing. Yeah. So put yourself out there. That's how you display yourself, your skills and talent. You make mistakes and then you learn. And then you keep pushing forward. But other people notice you and then they'll choose you. So volunteerism, in every 30 days, try to volunteer.
Try to volunteer.
Yeah.
Awesome. In looking at all these things you are supposed to be doing as a very good student, you need to manage your time well. You agree with me that to be able to perform excellently in your academics and also make time for these extracurricular activities we've suggested, you need to manage your time very well. The good news is we have an amazing tutorial to help you get more done in a week than most people get done in a month. Just head to seersapp.com/TM and get yourself sorted. You'll love it. We've been talking about education and how to get the most out of it as students in general, and especially come out of school and not find yourself wanting. Your guests have been Geshen McNeil Ameku and Shadrach Akrofikwaku. My name is Ejil. Let's keep the conversation going. It just began. Share with those you care about. Stay hungry for knowledge. Work hard and get to live a truly fulfilling life.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap. With swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo! The contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to seersapp.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.